From Fox 14, the right news at the right time, and the Spirit of Community Award winner. This is Fox 14 News at 5:30.
Thank you for choosing Fox 14. I'm Sarah Scarlett. First on Fox, Louisiana now has 2 more presumptive positive cases of the coronavirus. Governor John Bel Edwards made the announcement this afternoon that brings the total number of presumptive cases in the state to 3. All 3 patients are being treated in Orleans Parish. The presumptive positive test will be sent to the CDC for final confirmation. Additional tests will be administered to determine if more people have been infected through close contacts. The Trump administration doing all it can to stop the spread of the coronavirus in the U.S. Today, the president met with GOP lawmakers and healthcare executives trying to figure out ways to work together in the weeks and months ahead. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogan reports from Washington.
Top health insurance executives met with the president and his vice president at the White House. They announced private insurance companies have agreed to waive all co-pays on coronavirus testing to prevent surprise bills.
We want people to get tested. Over 1 million tests are out thanks to the diligent work of CDC and HHS. More than 4 million will go out this week. You've worked with commercial labs to expand testing, and that'll continue to increase by the day.
Speaking of testing, President Trump has chosen not to be, even though he interacted with members of Congress who met with a person who tested positive for the virus and are now self-quarantined.
I don't think it's a big deal. I would do it. I don't feel that any reason. I feel extremely good. I feel very good.
The White House has proposed multiple ideas to boost the economy. Republicans and Democrats appear on board to expand paid sick leave. But the possibility of a payroll tax cut did not receive as much support.
I would remind the White House that by far the best way to ensure economic security for the American people is to deal directly with the coronavirus itself.
The Pentagon is also working to prevent the spread among our nation's military. They discussed it in the briefing room where they're practicing social distancing.
This is a new virus, and we are continuing to learn about this virus, about how easy it is to spread the virus.
Defense Secretary Mark Esper has postponed a visit to Asia to stay in the U.S. and help manage the coronavirus response. In Washington, Ray Bogan, Fox News.
Coronavirus continues to spread, but flu season is still in full swing. Fox 14's Hunter Elise is back from speaking with a doctor to compare the two. Hunter, what makes the coronavirus so much worse than the flu?
Sarah, Dr. James Smith at St. Francis says there really aren't that many differences between the two. The coronavirus and the flu both have muscle aches, fever, and a dry cough, but Smith says a major difference is that the coronavirus shouldn't have a headache like the flu. It's also much more common to have shortness of breath with the coronavirus. With these similarities and differences, Smith still says there's absolutely no need to panic over catching the virus.
Unless you're over age 60 and have significant medical problems, or you're elderly and over age 80, your chance of getting seriously ill from coronavirus is very low.
Coming up at 9, here are the mortality rate comparisons between the flu and the coronavirus. In the studio, Hunter Elise, Fox 14 News.
Thanks, Hunter. Now to new information. The investigation into a Drew County man's death continues today. 26-year-old Marquise Martin was found dead Saturday morning in a creek in Wilmer, Arkansas. Martin had been missing for almost a month before he was found. His family said they searched areas near and around the small town to find any trace of Martin. Investigators have not released Martin's cause of death, though family members believe he was kidnapped and later murdered.
I need y'all to help me expose, reveal, pray that we get the justice for Marquise. That's what I want them to do. Long live Marquise.
Fox 14's Gabrielle Pfeiffer spoke more with the victim's mom. Hear from her coming up at 9. Police in Texas have captured the last suspect wanted in connection to a January shooting in Bastrop. Brandon Barnes was arrested by the Canton Police Department yesterday. He's being held in the Van Zandt County Jail. He'll be sent back to face charges along with Zion Butcher and Rayshawn Henry, who've already been booked. Butcher is charged with attempted second-degree murder. All 3 are facing conspiracy to commit attempted murder and resisting arrest charges. Well, it's Super Tuesday 2.0. Half a dozen states are heading to the polls today. And after tonight, we may be one step closer to knowing who will take on Donald Trump in the fall. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with the latest on the 2020 Democratic presidential race.
I want to replace Donald Trump.
It's primary day as voters in 6 states choose who they want to take the Democratic nomination. It's essentially between progressive Senator Bernie Sanders and moderate former Vice President Joe Biden.
Bernie Sanders fought his whole life towards one goal, and you can tell what that goal was. It's the American people.
I'm a Biden supporter, and I think it's just a really clean and easy person to follow.
352 delegates are up for grabs. The most come from Michigan, where both candidates have been campaigning hard. In 2016, Sanders won the Wolverine state in a stunning upset, but has pulled well behind Biden this time around.
At the end of the day, we're going to win this thing. So I just want to thank you all very much.
But it wasn't all welcoming. In Detroit, Biden was confronted by a pro-gun rights voter. Sanders has a lot riding on the results. His campaign needs a jolt of support as more prominent Democrats are rallying behind Biden's campaign.
Michigan is obviously a very important state today. It has a lot of delegates up there. I think that at the end of the day, in a two-person race, when our record is compared to Biden's, when our vision is compared to Biden's, when we have that debate in Phoenix, I'm feeling pretty good.
Lauren Blanchard reporting. As coronavirus fears spread, candidates on the campaign trail are rethinking their massive campaign rallies. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden both canceled their events in Cleveland, Ohio tonight over coronavirus concerns. Now to El Dorado news. The Lieutenant Governor of Arkansas visited El Dorado High School today. Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin talked to a group of students at the auditorium. He talked to the students about the importance of knowing how politics affects them. Griffin is in town today. Coming up on Fox 14 News at 5:30, Louisiana Tech takes a look back in time. More on the unearthing of a time capsule that's been buried for 5 decades. But first, Brian has a check on your weather.
Yeah, it's going to be another warm and humid one for Wednesday and Thursday before we see at least somewhat higher rain chances and an unsettled pattern. We'll have all those details coming up in Fox 14 News at 5:30 continues.
Attention Dish Network subscribers. Don't sit still. Don't get locked out. You could soon lose the full range of our programming you pay for. This means losing critical weather and breaking news coverage from NBC 10. Your favorite NBC programs, America's Got Talent, This Is Us, Chicago Wednesday, and the Summer Games. Don't get locked out of the programming you pay for. Take action now. Call 800-333-3474 and tell Dish Network to keep KTVE NBC 10.
For something old or something new, Cottonport Antique Mall.
LSU Tiger fans, it's time to get up and go. Get in the game and get the inside stories on Go Nation. Tonight on Fox 14 News at 9. Sponsored by Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys.
On the next Big Bang Theory.
Okay, say cheese.
You're invited to a Big Bang prom.
Thank you for wearing your flats.
Thank you for wearing your heels.
Next Big Bang.
Play Powerball from the lottery. Starting jackpot, $40 million. What would you do?
Hi, I'm Dr. Kevin Finley. We know that there are a lot of people who just do not want to go to the dentist. Well, if that's you, we have a place where you can come and get what you do want. All the dentistry that you need without the fear and anxiety. Our doctors and staff will take away any embarrassment you might have about your mouth. IV sedation can help you get the dentistry that you want in just a few visits. In a safe, comfortable place, you can take a nap and wake up to a new smile.
I had to go to the hospital after my wreck. I needed back surgery. I made that one call to Morris Bart. He got me $410,000.
If you get hurt in a car wreck in Monroe, do what your family and friends have done for many years. Call me now.
What if I told you that the opportunity for a better future was as simple as walking through a door? Kind of like this one. A door that can lead to a life-changing career and even financial independence. Would you walk through it? With day and night classes and hands-on training in high-demand career fields, UNITECH has made the next step easier than ever. Your future is just on the other side. Call or click today at unitechtrainingacademy.com.
The NBC 10 mobile sports app for Apple and Android. Brought to you by Ross Downs, attorney at law. Fox 14 News at 5:30 continues.
Louisiana Tech unearthed a time capsule that's been in the ground for 50 years. Fox 14's Isabel Albritton spoke with staff members who were there when it was buried. She joins us now with more. Isabel?
Sarah, educators tell me when the capsule was first being filled, they didn't think they'd still be here to see it again. Now that the capsule has been unearthed, they had a chance to take a trip down memory lane.
It was a Saturday morning, and one of my coworkers, Dorothy Jewell, and I were sort of rounded up to come out to see the ceremony.
On November 7th, 1970, students from Louisiana Tech University filled a time capsule built by students from the College of Engineering. It was filled with newspaper articles, essays from professors predicting what the future would be like, and photos from that time.
You got to remember, we didn't have thumb drives or anything like that, not even floppy disks at that time. So having a time capsule was a way to preserve the history of the moment.
Corey Stiegel had just graduated and began teaching English at Louisiana Tech the year the capsule was buried.
I knew a lot of the young men who were in the Circle K Club and that were trying to get it together.
Members of the Circle K Club had students fill out index cards with messages and quotes for the future to see. Some mentioned their loved ones, while others weren't too sure if the capsule would make it to 2020.
This was really a way of making our stamp that would really embody what was going on in 1969.
Sue McFadden says seeing the time capsule 5 decades later brought back memories from her time as a student at Louisiana Tech.
The commencement program from my graduation is in there, so I was delighted to see that.
The items are now on display at the campus library for Louisiana Tech's 125th anniversary. McFadden says she hopes current students will keep the traditions alive.
Dr. Guy said now the SGA officers are responsible for carrying this forward and doing it again should they choose. So, and I really hope they do.
The Student Government Association will discuss whether or not they will be filling in a new time capsule for future generations to see. For now, live in the studio is Isabel Albritton, Fox 14 News.
Thanks, Isabel. You'll want to hurry up and get your tickets for the St. Jude Dream Home. 1/3 of the tickets are already sold. For just $100, you have a chance to win a brand new home. It's being built in the Egret Landing subdivision in Sterlington by Brakewood Construction. You can buy your St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ticket today by going to our website, myarclemis.com, or by calling 800-726-9874. Less than 5,000 tickets are left. And now Brian joins us. Brian, today was a beautiful day. Are we expecting more of this?
Yes, well, a little bit more warm and sticky weather, and then, yeah, some of that nasty weather that we've been seeing quite a bit this year. We'll have all those details coming up next. You're watching Fox 14 News at 5:30.
Blackman's Furniture has been filling the homes of South Arkansas and North Louisiana with quality furniture for over 25 years.
We want you to have choices. That's why we have the largest inventory in the area.
Our bedding department has over 50 mattresses to choose from by
Serta, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and more.
For experience, service, selection, and quality, your best choice is Blackman's Furniture and Appliances. Where are you?
Buy today. Get it today.
Shop Clayton Homes of Monroe during the Welcome Home Sales Event and save up to $5,000 on a new home.
Come turn the key on a nice life upgrade.
Save up to $5,000 during the Welcome Home Sales Event at Clayton Homes of Monroe.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Sometimes big truck wrecks can result in big case settlements. These are some of the results I've gotten some of my clients. Now, I can't guarantee you this kind of money on your case, but when you call me, I'll fight to help make sure you get everything you deserve for your injuries. So if you've been hurt by a big truck, call me. Get it done.
Stand up to big trucks. Get Gordon and get it done.
Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com.
It's game time, and everyone's game is at Tilt Studio. Over 60,000 square feet of fun for all ages, for the young and the young at heart. Over 150 arcade games, blacklight, golf, laser tag, mini bowling, amusement rides, bumper cars, and more. A great place for team building, group events, fundraisers, company meetings, family reunions, birthday parties, anything. Our concession area has all you need to refuel for another round of fun. No admission, open 7 days a week. Tilt Studio, fun at full blast. Pecanland Mall, Monroe.
800,000 reasons to call Morris Bart.
475,000 reasons.
550,000 reasons.
Over 30 years of winning, over $1 billion won, over 1 billion reasons for you to call. One call, that's all.
Shop and experience historic downtown West Monroe.
Live Storm Tracker Doppler Radar, sponsored by bankruptcy attorney E. Orem Young. And now, Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Brian Briggs.
Well, good Tuesday evening to you. Hopefully you were able to get out and enjoy the relatively beautiful weather that we had today. It was very nice temperature-wise, but a lot of moisture in the air, making it a little bit uncomfortable. A lot of us sweating it out, especially since we're not quite used to these temperatures yet. We're sitting in the upper 70s here, currently in the Twin Cities. Dew point's at 60, so juicy air mass is in place, and that's why we're seeing a lot of these puffy cumulus clouds. But I notice they're kind of flattening out. Well, there is some dry air in the upper levels of the atmosphere that it has to work with. As far as temperatures across the Arklamas, Monticello, Greenville, you folks seem to be the cool spot, sitting in the lower 70s. Elsewhere, upper 70s, lower 80s for the vast majority of the Arklamas. So again, feeling a lot like spring across the area, and with that moisture too, it's making it feel even much more like that. Although moisture is kind of limited to southern and eastern sections of the Arklamas, especially not seeing a lot of moisture up in the Camden, El Dorado, Ruston area. You folks are sitting at 50-degree dew point, and with those higher dew points, well, it's allowing for a little bit better shower and thunderstorm activity. So water vapor imagery shows that we do have a little bit of moisture in the upper levels, although there's that dry air that I talked to about how it's kind of squashing those puffy cumulus clouds. And once this kind of moves in addition to losing daytime heating, well, we're going to lose any sort of chance of showers and storms as we go through the remainder of the night. Live radar brought to you by E. Orem Young, showing that now at least most of the heavier showers have moved into the Alexandria area out of our area. We're still seeing some very isolated showers here and there, and even a few outflow boundaries from when that rain pushes the air literally away at the surface when it does hit the surface. So kind of switching gears here. Here's the Washita River at Monroe. We're kind of tracking this. We'll be seeing it peaking out a little bit as we go in the next couple of days, but yeah, it's going to be staying just above flood stage here, and we're going to see that for the Mississippi River as well, although they're going to be into moderate flood stage and they're going to be rising. So as we start to see more spring snow melt up north and more heavy rain chances off towards the north and west, well, that will cause our waterways here, at least in the Arklamas, to rise, even though we might not see too much rain as we head into the upcoming future. So future tracker is showing, again, that chance for an isolated shower continuing for the next couple hours or so, and then we should remain dry. But notice this, we do have a complex of storms off towards our north and east, and it was showing, at least originally, that we might have had our southern Arkansas counties getting hit by this, but it's going to try to trend off towards the north and east. But with that being said, still have that chance for maybe an isolated shower or two through the course of the day. Most of us will stay dry for our Wednesday, warm and humid. And taking a larger look, though, at things, notice this boundary that's going to be kind of hanging out here. It'll dip a little bit for Friday into the weekend, but then it'll lift right back up in the north where it is and just keep dumping rain up towards the north. Now, our southern Arkansas counties have the best chance of seeing rain out of this. A little bit less as you go further south, and then the furthest south you go, well, not seeing all that much. So dropping into the lower 60s tonight, we're getting into the 80s tomorrow, Thursday too. So not seeing overly impressive rainfall totals either during this time frame. And then it looks like the best chance of rain actually is Friday as that boundary dips closer to us, cooling us off to a little bit to the upper 60s, and then we'll see the temperatures returning to the middle to upper 70s by next week. And again, as that storm train at least continues off towards our north, keeps the heaviest rain up into Arkansas, mainly Tennessee, Oklahoma, that region. But we're just going to kind of get little bits of that for the end of the week. So there's some good news there. We're trimming those rain chances down, and I will continue to update you as we get closer to that time frame. More coming up after the break. You're watching it Fox 14 News at 5:30.
My relationship with Homeland Bank started with a construction loan. It was the easiest transition I have ever experienced.
I was so impressed with the situation that Cindy and Scott had gone through with Homeland Bank. That's when we sat down with Paul and created a plan to open our 5th location in Baton Rouge.
Everyone is always so friendly and nice.
It's banking like it used to be.
Our money's in Homeland Bank.
Where's your money?
Hey y'all, I'm Amanda Shaw. Louisiana is known around the world as a place to feed your soul. Lucky for you, you're already here. That's why you should stay in this weekend. Hit the road and enjoy a close by, far from ordinary staycation right here in Louisiana. Get up, get out, and reacquaint yourself with the one-of-a-kind culture the world can't get enough of. After all, it's yours. Plan your road trip at LouisianaStaycation.com.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize performance, increase strength, and give you the dependability you demand. We engineer our equipment precisely at every level. It's what makes us a leader. Now get financing as low as 2.99% APR for up to 72 months. See your local Kubota construction equipment dealer today.
Come visit us at Kubota of Monroe, or you can visit our website, KubotaofMonroe.com.
The odds of winning the Louisiana lottery is 1 in 3,838,380. The chances of being drafted by the NBA, 1 in 6,864,000. But your chances of winning the St. Jude Dream Home, 1 in 7,500. Better odds than almost anything. And helping kids with cancer is a sure bet. Call this number now and buy your St. Jude Dream Home ticket today.
14 News at 5:30 continues.
The FDA is cracking down on companies that continue to sell flavored cartridge-based vaping products in violation of the agency's new policy. That policy took effect in February. It prioritizes enforcement actions against cartridge-based vaping products and flavors other than tobacco and menthol. The FDA sent out 22 warning letters to companies that make and sell flavored cartridges. Those companies include both online retailers and brick-and-mortar businesses like gas stations and convenience stores. The companies have to respond within 15 days. The FDA says a top priority is protecting young people from the dangers of tobacco use, especially regarding e-cigarettes. Well, having a sick child at home doesn't mean the entire family will get sick too. Doctors at the Cleveland Clinic say designating a primary caregiver can help prevent other people in the house from getting sick. It's also a good idea to keep older children in their rooms and away from other family members. And when possible, try to avoid sharing silverware, cups, and drinks. Hand washing and using hand sanitizer can also help prevent the spread of viruses. Well, have you ever wondered what makes your metabolism tick? In today's Health Minute, Meredith Wood tells you how your body burns energy.
Who has the faster metabolism, the bigger person or the thinner person? Well, if you guess the thinner person, you would be wrong. In fact, the bigger your body, the more calories you're burning. That's because your metabolism has to work more in order to keep the body functioning and provide basic energy. That's referred to as your basal, or your resting metabolic rate. Have you ever tried to lose weight and the first 10 or so pounds come off much faster than the rest? That's because as you lose mass, your metabolism doesn't need to work as hard as it did 10 pounds ago. Of course, this is a general explanation of how many calories your body is burning at rest. Several other things come into play, like your body composition. Lean mass, which includes muscle, burns calories faster than fat. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you're burning. And of course, we can't forget physical activity. Everything from walking to sprinting takes energy, helping us torch those calories. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
That's your health news. Up next, Brian has one last look at your 7-day forecast. Keep it right here on Fox 14.
My car wreck happened fast. It wasn't my fault. I broke my leg. I called Morris Bart. He got me $123,000.
If you get hurt in a car wreck in Monroe, do what your family and friends have done for many years. Call me now.
Meet the 6 new Masked Singers.
I like big butts and again I lie.
And there's a bombshell reveal you gotta see spoiler-free.
Oh my God!
Holy snap! The Masked Singer, all new Wednesday, followed by Lego Masters on Fox.
It's time once again to kick up your heels at the Shindig, benefiting the Ouachita Council on Aging, hosted right here at the MBH Farms in Calhoun, Friday, March 20th. There'll be a live and silent auction as well as a delicious meal catered by Catfish Charlie's. There'll be dancing and great music provided by Lisa Spann and Company. Get your tickets by calling 387-0535. Proceeds from the Shindig will benefit the Ouachita Council on Aging and is sponsored by Vantage Health Plan.
At Fox 14, we're invested in your safety. Along with the only live storm tracker Doppler radar in our area and the latest in weather forecasting technology, we're offering you a commitment a little easier to see. The live lights. If you drive down I-20 and you see our radar red, that means that weather could disrupt your day. It's just another way that Fox 14 is keeping you and your family safe.
At Fox 14, we are invested in keeping our viewers safe when Mother Nature gets out of hand. With the live storm tracker Doppler radar, we can track storms up to 6 minutes faster than other area stations. Our 3 experienced meteorologists are dedicated to your safety. If one viewer may be in danger, we are on the air with live weather updates no matter the time of day until the last threat has passed. The Fox 14 weather team and the live storm tracker Doppler radar, keeping your family safe.
On April the 4th, the people of Monroe head to the polls to vote for mayor.
And NBC 10 has your last and best chance to hear from the candidates wanting your vote.
They're going to answer the questions important to you.
The Monroe Mayoral Forum, Thursday, March 26th at 6 on NBC 10. Sponsored by Creed & Creed, your local injury attorneys. Get the KTVE KARD Barron Weather app, sponsored by Sam Henry, the bankruptcy attorney. 11 teens die every day as a result of texting while driving. Don't be a statistic. Sign the pledge at notextarclimits.com. Brought to you by Creed & Creed, your local injury attorneys.
Well, we can expect the same weather for Wednesday and Thursdays. Highs top out in the lower 80s, lows in the 60s, and it'll be warm, muggy, and stray shower here or there. Better chance of rain coming for Friday with the boundary kind of sagging in over us, and we'll see rain chances in the next week as well.
We'll see you back here at 9. Have a great night.